There we go. Ooh. Man, I gotta remember that now every time I start recording, I gotta turn on the audio rig because it's got a compressor running. Cool. All right. Well, here we are, working on the third animation. We have our basic setup for this this space, this environment in place. Are we ready to animate the player? Well, what's gonna happen? We have a hole in the ground. Drop down here. Go through... Let's see. Do I still have the shortcut for navigation? I don't. Control-Shift-F. Just gonna save the settings. So, we go through here. We see the door. The door is all sorts of blocked away, blocked off. Now we'll look to the right. We should be able to see some rays of light. And then, do we just go over, or do we have to step over anything? Any sort of walk cycles that have to be done here just look kind of boring. So that's why I try to minimize the amount of walk cycles I have to do. Maybe as we walk by, we look at something like we did with the subway service entrance. Or maybe we'll have like a beam or a pipe of some kind that's blocking our way, and we'll just have to duck under it. Yeah, that could work actually. Let's see. I believe there are some pipes that have been added. I think Antoine has added some pipes we could use here. Okay. Oh, already here. Beautiful. Let's see. Okay, stacks of logs. These are ceiling wires. Oh, there's the kit. That's good. We got a chest of some kind. Pallets. I don't see any pipes. I've seen them post about the pipes, but I don't see any pipes here. Okay, longer generic pipes. That's a material. Oh. Interesting. This is, oh, these are Dimitar's pipes. Okay. These are really big. Let's take a look at the small ones. Oh yeah, no, these are like heavy duty. Okay, this would be useful for level design, but I don't think this is meant for small. Oh, this pipe thin. There we go. Oh, these are like copper pipes. Got it. Okay, well, maybe we'll just make something here. Let's disable snapping. Come on. Let me deselect. Thank you. There we go. Okay. I would like to have orientation here. Please and thank you. Okay. We're gonna add... I need to make it look like it's broken, so we're gonna do a quick test here. Let's do edge. We're gonna assign these vertices to the edge. We're going to apply a displacement modifier only to the edge, and then it needs to use a texture of some kind. We're gonna go with clouds. Apply scale. We do need to adjust the clouds. Okay, now that looks... Let's see. There we go. So it looks like we can just use the local axis. Oh, almost. I guess it would be Z-axis. There we go. Nice. Okay. Cool. Just gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna apply this, at least on this pipe here. Hey, Vishal. Good day. Okay, this has to be low enough that the player needs to actually duck under it. Mm-hmm. Sure. There we go. Maybe what I can also do here is take a copy of this, selection of the cursor, and I'm just going to position it in a way that obscures that pipe going into nowhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, that works. Cool, so we'll set our hand on this pipe and then duck under it, and then we'll be able to see what's happening here. Alrighty. Alright, that works. What's next? I think we need to, for good measure, take the foundation, expand it a bit, so that once we place it in the level, we have plenty of room to raise it up or drop it into the terrain. And I think that's basically all there is to it. Okay, now there's a question of aligning the player. We know that we'd have to get out of here. As a matter of fact, something I wanted to do is have a bit of a scoop of terrain here. So we'd have to hang off the ledge and then drop down. And then we can walk back up. So the player would have to be aligned somewhere here. Question is, how do we place that marker? I suppose we can, once again, we could just eyeball it. Let's say hands rig. I think hands rig was moved to Blender 4. I think. It's kind of the problem. I can't move everything to Blender 4 because there's some instability I've encountered. Okay. Just gonna open up the hands rig here. And we're gonna need that. Oh, interesting. Control C now has a pop-up menu. Now is this gonna work here? It does, okay. I used to recall that we weren't able to copy objects between instances of Blender. So that's curious. Okay, so I want the player to end somewhere around here. Okay, that's going to be the alignment, animation alignment node. And I think for the most part, the foundation of this location is ready. We can go into the hands, environment props, yes. So we're going to do a new collection. And this is Ruined House. We're gonna, I guess we can link. Yeah, I think we can link. Actually, yes. Yeah, we should be able to link. Okay, so this is models. Assets, models. Locations. Whoops. Yep. Access points, destroyed household. And then we're gonna just be going through the entire collection. Rigid body world. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. Now, it looks like the orientation is a little iffy. Okay, we don't need to see the service tunnel. There we go. So that is the center point for the player. So if we select the player armature, go ahead and set him back to reset. Reset. This reset. Yeah, just jiggle. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate this. This is gonna be, what's the name of the other animations? Arcade intro house. Protect it. And let's start by setting up the location. Oh, okay. Let's make sure we're in pose mode, shall we? There we go. The root bone stays there. Actually, it should stay there. We do not animate the root bone. Now, curiously enough, without a root bone, it is kind of difficult to tell how tall the player is supposed to be. So maybe besides the root bone, I should also have a ground bone. Which, I think I should be able to add it without messing anything up. The ground bone is supposed to be kind of showing us where the foot level is. So it's like a little helper. Okay. So, we start by dropping down. So somewhere around here. I would have to be down here. Looking down this place. Okay, what was it? Shift. Well, shift is to the next, or the beginning of the end of the animation. Okay, I need to look up some shortcuts again. I forget what is the shortcut to go to the next frame. Keyframes. Common shortcuts. Alt, middle, click, and drag. Is that so? Text editing. Alt, middle, click, and drag. That is... not really. That don't look like it. Okay. Let's see here. Where was scroll? No, that's just advancing the timeline. We need to snap to the next keyframe. Okay, Blender, snap to next keyframe. Snapping time cursor to keyframes. Select keyframe you need, and then Control G. Okay, so we knew that one. Interesting. I don't think there is a thing. So we have to do it this way. Control G. Okay, I'm not sure why it's... everything is still selected. Unless I did something. Just gonna make sure that we drop down this, we're looking the same direction we were looking before. Oh, we got rotation. That's why. Okay. It doesn't have cursor to selected option. Shift S. It does, which is same thing as Control G. But, you know, I'm talking about press a button, it skips to the next keyframe, or next keyframe in the timeline. Video editing software have this feature. So it's like jumping between previous or next keyframe. So you can make sure you're landing right on the keyframe instead of right next to it. And then any sort of edits you end up putting in end up getting a little messed up. Okay, so let's try... Oh, did we forget something? I think we might have... well, that would explain it. We were editing across individual origins. Which hypothetically isn't such a big deal. We'd have to animate hands anyways. Maybe we should make a plugin for saving selections, bone selections. Okay. I think we need to remove a bunch of debris. Like anything right here might need to be removed. Just so that we can actually see what's happening there. We can see that opening. Okay, save it up, open it back up, and really? Big fat nada? We linked it, didn't we? We did link it, which means anything that happens here should propagate here, and yet it doesn't. Unless we appended it. If we appended it, then... Whoops. I think we might have appended it. Okay. Let's try that again. File link this time. Destroyed house. Okay, shouldn't take too much. Oh, well, that's not really, That's not really getting updated either. What? Hello? Okay, we saved it. Maybe I need to, like, do this. Nope. That's okay. Fascinating. Weird. Okay, let me double check this. Blender linked asset not updating. Oh. Assets not update in scene when saving source content. Expected to link. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Oh? Is it refusing to do it because it's already there? Link. It's still there. Okay, this is wild. Do I have to delete this stuff? I sure hope I don't. Just gonna place it right up there. Okay, we saved it. It is here. It has been updated. There's no animation here. So it's not being animated for whatever reason. Okay. Aha. Aha. So moving it updates it. And I assume also removing stuff updates it. But hiding it seems to be bugged out. So that's lovely. That's good to know. We did have a door that was hidden, and it is still hidden. So hiding does work selectively? I don't know. Seems like a bug. Okay, cool. Let's we did close it, so we're gonna have to realign it. Maybe at some point we can develop a more robust system of synchronizing objects. It's kind of a shame that we can't make animations made in this scene propagate backwards to, let's say, the environment scene. Okay, anyways. So, what do we have here? Okay, so if we're over here, we probably need to be here. You can, but it's pretty advanced stuff. Oh boy. Eric Picot has a great tutorial on this thing. Does he now? Let me just quickly make a note of that. Okay, we'll have to see. Okay, so the player's gonna duck down. Not that far. Probably around here. Okay. Gotta slow it down. That should be good. Oh. She'll grab with the left hand or the right hand. So there needs to be a pause right here. This is all happening way too fast. So we have a landing. After the landing, pause. And then we turn around. Just gotta set up the base movement. Hey! Oh, /. Yes. Okay. Okay, we'll have a pause here. Maybe some falling down debris. Okay, we'll start walking. Looks like we're actually quite a bit smaller. Probably want to be up here, actually. We'll probably have to squeeze these props closer together. Okay. That seems about an equal speed. Need to slow it down. This is where we'll be squeezing through this area. Okay. We'll take a moment. Okay, I feel like we're already reaching frame 400, and we barely got anything. If we're gonna keep this really dramatic, we can't really rush it. But if we take our sweet ass time here, the problem is that this whole sequence is gonna take 1,000 frames, if not longer. And the problem with that is that we have other animations that all need to pretty much finish at around the same time. So either we have to relocate the window here if we want to have any luck of finishing this in the appropriate time, around 550 frames, give or take, or we have to figure out a different entry point. Like maybe we don't drop down this this area here. Maybe we start by going through this. So that saves us about 200 frames. And then we can repurpose this drop here in the fourth animation. So either we drop down and then there's a window, and then we just walk out of the window. Or we start right here, see the door, turn around, and then go to the window. I'm kind of tempted to do that. Blender cutscene? For a game, yes. Okay, what is this? I'm not supposed to have any influence animations here. Let's pop this over here. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, yada, yada, yada. Don't need this. Okay, so we're getting through this opening. Getting up to the door. Look around. And then turn. Okay, this gives us a preview of the volumetrics going into it. I was wondering, how do you translate camera animation in Godot? All the animations, these particular animations are scripted events that take place in the beginning of the game. So I have the root bone, which is right there. That's the final pose of where the player's going to end up. So by the time the players finish playing this animation, their final pose is exactly at the 0, location of their character body. So they start off in the middle of, you know, far away, and then they settle into their regular position. But this only works in this case because this is literally the very first introductory animation. It's pretty much kind of a lucky chance that it plays to our favor this way. Okay. For anything else, I haven't experimented with it. If we have some scripted events, let's say if it's like interacting with the lever, I just line up the root bone to a predetermined position in relation to the prop and then let the animations play out. So technically we've done something like this for prying animation. Okay. So that's good. Okay. Don't really get to see our hands here, so that's fine. Okay, so after we go through here, we should settle on right here. Interesting. See, the plight of not keeping the hands in relation to the body is that they get left behind, which is dragging them behind. And the issue with that also is the fact that we don't really know where they are because of the inverse kinematics constraints. So we have to go fish them out. At the same time, can't really make them be a child of the hand, or the hand be the child of the body, because then it's going to be much more, well, much more involved to keep hands rooted to objects in the world. We'd have to have some sort of a secondary constraint and an object that the hands constrain to. And that means that within every animation we'd have to toggle them on and off based on if the object has to be in relation to a prop in the world. So yeah, it's not really that worth it, to be honest. Too much work. Would you grab the pipe and duck under it? Precisely what we're gonna go for. I'm just trying to lay out the base timing here. Okay, so it turns around. And then we settle on looking down this thing. Okay, now I could have us look down, try to open it, doesn't work, sees that there's something blocking the window, and then we break the window and clear the obstruction and open it. Or we could try to maybe do that right away. Maybe we can show the obstruction clear enough that just from the first glance you can see that it's blocking the window. Maybe like a pipe? A water pipe? We did introduce a pipe, so we know it's a thing. Okay. Let me just quickly copy the pipe and place it in there. Okay. Maybe for good measure, we'll have a broken version of that pipe here. So it doesn't look like it's just coming out of nowhere. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that we won't really see the top of that pipe, so we don't have to worry about it. We do have it sticking through the window here, which honestly looks pretty wedged in there. Could hypothetically work with it. As a matter of fact, we could make it so that we smash open this window, not this one. This one's already going to be pre-smashed because it's got a pipe sticking through it. Nice. So we break this window. We pull the pipe out of the way. And then open the window and get out, and then controls given back to the player. Okay. That seems fair enough. So, Control-Shift-O. There we go. So that got updated. We now have the window. So, go over here. We can see... Maybe while we are looking at it, we can settle into a more favorable position. Mm-hmm. Have you decided yet what this location will be? This is just a residential house. The window design is very, very residential. The fourth location is gonna be like a small bunker chunk. A rogue one that somehow ended up here. I have a door that looks like a submarine door. I think actually, not me, no. Dimitar made a door. That it's a very like heavy duty submarine door with a big wheel that you're supposed to turn, big valve. So I think we can just have the player slide down some concrete slab and then up to the door, twist it open, get out, and Bob's your uncle. Okay. That'll be the fourth one. Just gonna bring this closer here. So if we have this window already cracked, we can just have the player pull the chunks out of the way or push them through. Punch the window, punch the wall. Okay. Maybe back of the fist would be proper motion here. Remember kids, if you're breaking a windows, make sure you're doing it with your veins. Don't want to go to jail. Okay, so we'll kind of push our body into it. Okay, where's our elbow? Where did we leave it? We left it over here. Lovely. Okay. Maybe the elbows should be a part of the body. Body bone. Okay. Just keep the bones there. Okay, we're gonna try to clear some glass. He does have a leather jacket on, so that shouldn't be too puncturable by glass. Okay, so next we're gonna lean in. Oops. Individual origins. Thank you. Okay, it doesn't have to be super precise, just an approximation. Ooh. that's a one stretched thumb. I think that's pretty much the limit of how far we can push it. Okay. Also, the pose is going to be solidified here. Maybe there's an extension for saving and storing poses, because this whole library thing does not convince me. Might have to look into it. Okay. Let's have the body pull back a little bit before we go for this. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this means that we're probably going to have a bone attached to this pipe. Which means we're going to have to export it as a separate armature GLTF file. Just going to assign glass. Oops. Oh, okay. We want this, don't we? Yes. Ah, yes, beautiful. Noisy, noisy glass. Well, that's fascinating. Rendering artifact. Oh, alpha hashed. Alpha blend, that's why. Okay. Are we gonna see it here? Hey. Well, there we go. Nice. So break the glass, clear it, pull it off. Okay, so this part, the pulling off part, this is where we have to have some sort of an armature here. Okay. Now we want to make sure that this armature is always in the right place in relation to the building. Which I suppose this should be okay. Maybe? We did move the building a bunch. Which kind of makes me think we have to repeat the same thing we did with the subway service entrance. We have to have an axis in the middle of the world. What is it? Destroyed house origin. We take everything and then we parent it to be a part of destroyed house origin, including the armature, so that when we move around the whole thing, everything is inside of that single node, which is going to show up as a node 3D, I think. Okay, so I'm going to take this single bone. Hopefully I can just do this. Okay, view it as sticks, always in front. Show the axis. Beautiful. Alright, this is pipe armature. I'm going to take the pipe armature. I'm going to parent it there. Okay, I sure hope that'll work. And then take this, take the armature, parent it using automatic weights. And now, if we move the armature, the pipe moves with it. Which means now we can animate it. Okay. So, open this up. There's the armature. What we need to do now is make it... Well, we need to make it editable. So we got to do object. Make library override. Hello? Why'd you move? You son of a gun. It moved. God dang it. Alright, fine. Fine. Okay, where's that axis? Why can't I move the axis? Was it recorded? I sure hope it wasn't. Okay, I can't move anything. That's new. Let me try this. I can't even delete it. There we go. Alright, let's try that again. Link. Destroyed house. Okay. The destroyed house has to be animated, so we do library override, make. Can we move stuff? Yes, no. No, we cannot. Why? Okay, let's look this up. Blender can't move. Dang it. Library override. Can't move linked. You have to also right click on the collection, select make library override editable. Huh. Okay. That's from 22. Can't see the option anywhere. Yeah, well, there you go. 3.1, 3.2. You need to go into the overrides view of the outliner, then select hierarchies option in the drop down on the right. Click override that you want to make editable. I do not remember having to do any of this stuff. What? Oh, hold on. This is 4 point... Maybe that's why. Huh. ID data, make library override hierarchy. Alright. I think... I remember a long time ago, I had to do a fake user. That was a way to allow something that is linked to be editable. Okay, so they're in which view? Oh, it looks like they're in the regular view layer view. And then they right click, ID data, make library override hierarchy. Make local, We don't want to do that. There we go. Okay, so what the shit do we do? Okay, let's get rid of all this. Repeat the process. We know that we didn't fluke it. Unlink, go away. Okay, so one more time. Link. Destroyed house. Okay, we can move it like this, but we're going to do selected and content. Okay, and now that was only on the collection, so maybe we got to do it again. Yeah, okay, so we got to do it twice. Once for the collection, and then once for the mesh. Okay, now, if that's the case, delete hierarchy, unlink. What if we link not a collection, but an object? Maybe a scene? Nah. We have we had an object which was, these are all meshes. We had a single axis. Okay, so I suppose we have to do a whole collection then. Very well. It is what it is. So right click, library override. Oh. Make content and selected. So we can't move it, but now we're going to click on that single axis and then make it be content selected. Now we can move stuff around and everything seems to be linked. Cool. All right. Okay, that's close enough. Nice. Alrighty. So, with this in place, we grab the pipe. We have an armature here. Pipe armature. I'll just say pipe armature 2. Fascinating. Okay, maybe it's a naming issue from one of the previous imports. Let's drag this in here. Okay. So we should be able to adjust these now. Let's give it a new animation. We're going to call this intro. Not intro. We call that in the player. Pipe shift Pipe shift motion. Okay, protected. Might be a good idea to mark any animation that doesn't belong in the hand scene with some sort of a symbol like that. Okay. Well, what would be easier here? Hand follows pipe or pipe follows hand? I think hand follows pipe. Because the pipe... Are we gonna do this one-handed? That could look odd, depending on how we pull it off. The pipe follows hand thing. Because I'm thinking we move the pipe a little bit over, it gets nudged, we reposition the hand closer to the tip, and then we pull it off and then throw it off. So that whole point of the hand letting go of the pipe and then grabbing it on in the lower point, means that the pipe should not move. So we should probably attach the hand to the pipe. Okay. So we have our wrist. That's wrist twist. That's not what we want. We want this one. All right. We have a bunch of influences here. Let's do child of. This is house pipe. Okay. Apparently can't pick whip that armature. Sure. Take the only bone that's there. Set inverse. There we go. Okay. Now, apparently we can be in pose mode of multiple armatures, which is quite handy. And it does actually switch between different animations. The only thing that we can't have is two different armatures in the same animation. Because then Blender goes, oh, I try to export this animation, but cannot find the armature. I crash now. Thank you for choosing Soviet technology. It really doesn't like when two different armatures are using the same animation, which is kind of unfortunate. Would have made our life easier. Okay, so we do this. Let's record what? Oh, I guess pressing I just records everything. Location, scale, rotation, whatever you want. Okay. Okay, now logic would dictate that we should probably place a starting keyframe, and then here should do this. Now the question is, why is the hand not following? Pipe armature bone. Unless we have another influence. Oh. Train shelf. That shouldn't be here. Okay. That's new. Why, oh why, are you not following this? Huh? Could it be that it's because this is the starting bone, the root bone, and it doesn't like it? Let's see. Unable to execute toggle. Right. Can't edit it. Have to do it here. Subdivide. Root. This is just bone. I'm going to snap this to the grid. Okay, we're going to take this bone. It is going to be not directly connected. Snap it to vertices. And then position it back. Okay. Which means everything we have here has to be not in root. Root edge. Where in God's name did you get the bone called edge? Alright, doesn't matter. Delete this. Bone. Assign. Lovely. Assign everything. You know what? That's fine. It's just easier if we do this as a non-deform and then tell this object to assign itself with automatic weights, except that what happened here? What? The displacement modifier has gone haywire. Okay, hold on a second. This is why you need to apply things like displacements, goddammit. Can we return back to object mode? I'm going to apply, and then we do this. This bone, non-deform. This bone, not connected. Yes. Magic. Magic indeed. Okay, there we go. So now, this armature, I'm going to place the center point. There we go. So it looks like it is still pointing to that center axis, so it's still a child of it. Okay. Let's return here. Save it, reopen it so that it updates the source. 0 libraries and 1 linked data blocks are missing, including 0 data blocks, 0 proxies. Yeah, I think this is because the armature has changed. That's okay. Where's this guy's hand? Okay. Looking for the buried treasure. Let's get this back in here. Okay, so it is attaching itself to the pipe. Set inverse. And then when the pipe moves, inevitably, of course, so it's going to go from here. Control G. Select I, places the keyframe, and then Control G, and then it moves. And then nothing moves with it. That's literally nothing moves with it. Right. Pipe armature bone. Okay, actually nothing moves with it. Do we have to make the armature also be overridden? Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. I don't remember having to do this in the subway version of the scene. Maybe that's because the subway version of the scene was in Godot 3.6. Blender 3.6. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, now we know. We gotta override the armature of an inherited scene or linked scene. Where are you going? Get back here. Okay, that is the wrist. Clear inverse. Right. Yeah, because that's the default position of it, of course. Although technically, it is very close to the root bone. Okay, I am going to need you to return cursor selection to cursor. Okay, you know what? Away with this constraint. It's causing us too much grief. Okay, we don't need this pose. There we go. So it touches the pipe. Good. We're going to place a keyframe just in case. And now we're going to add a child of constraint. Pipe armature, bone, set inverse. Now we're in the right place. But now it doesn't follow it. What? Actually, hold on. The pipe itself doesn't follow it either. If we're in the pose mode, it does not follow it. Okay. Well, let's try that again. Actually, I'm going to remove any pre-existing vertex groups here. And then it is a deform bone. So that shouldn't be a problem. Take this, take the armature, automatic weights. There we go. Okay, you've all been witnesses. It does move around. Let's get back here. Save it. Control-Shift-O, open the blend file. Okay. So the pipe now moves. That's good. But the hand does not follow it. And I saw it following before. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly, for the sake of my own sanity, rename this to be called Pipe Bone. Yes. Open it up. That is not the project I wanted to open. There you go. Now, what is the name of this bone? Pipe bone. Beautiful. Where's my hand? It's gone. It's like an ostrich. Just hides itself in the sand. Set inverse. Okay, so bone doesn't exist, understandably. It's called pipe bone now. Now, does it move? Okay, so we'll take this. Can we just get rid of these tracks? There we go. What the shit, Siggles? Why? Why you do this to me? Son of a bitch. What am I missing? Animation, pose, armature. This, do I have to make this have an override? Selecting content. Okay, do you see that shit? Do you see that shit? Look behind the window. Do you see it? That's the hand moving around with the bone. What the shit? Where is that? It's all the way in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Okay, but it's moving. So, swear to God, this is... Okay, so we are going to now clear inverse. Set inverse. It is now following the pipe. Okay, so cool. Cool? Cool. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna set the influence to be 1 right here when we're touching the pipe. We're gonna set it to 0 here because we don't want it to be attached there. Okay, perfect. We don't want to be attached throughout the entire animation. Okay, so we're gonna pull it off. I think it would be kind of difficult to grab it with 2 hands. Unless we bust out the glass of both windows, which would look kind of meh. Okay. So we'll pull it just enough for it to exit the window. And then it's gonna get lodged in the corner. Maybe we can place some wood particles here. Okay. Looks kind of goofy. Yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of weak, to be honest. That pipe just sitting there blocking the tiny little handle. What's a more sturdy object that could be blocking a window? Could be a concrete plate. Hmm. It could hypothetically still be a pipe. But it would be like halfway through the window. Just make it look like it's a struggle. Yeah, I think just the way I positioned the pipe here just makes it look a little unconvincing. Also, maybe it's because he's doing it with just one hand. Does it need to be a pipe? Doesn't have to be a pipe. The pipe is just kind of convenient because we've already introduced the fact that there's collapsing pipes in this building. So you don't have this random ass pipe out of nowhere. Yeah, let me see if I can introduce the other hand here. Let's see. Take this. Where's my other shoulder? There's my other shoulder. Yeah, that could very well be the reason. You could try one hand and use both. Yeah, I think just the one hand looks goofy enough. It doesn't look convincing is what it is. And we're just setting up the base poses too. Okay, this is pipe. Okay, now this is just stupid. You're seeing this, right? What? Hold on. Maybe it's because we have two bones. Pipe armature. Ah, okay, hold on. So we have pipe armature and we have pipe armature that's overwritten. And I think that's why we didn't have any motion. Okay. Okay. Let's move it back. I guess we don't need to have it lodge back in there. Probably just have it struggle like this and then push it out of the way. Okay, we don't want the hand clipping through the window though. Okay, let's get this frame and then maybe lean in on it. And then we can push it. Let's get this guy to let go. 0. And on this pipe, I'm gonna place a cursor, whoops, cursor to right there. And we can just push it out. Ah, interesting. The pipe has only had location data. Fascinating. I do want rotation to be recorded as well. So we're gonna have the player lean in. Their hand kind of stretches at the moment, so that's not really good. So right there is where the push takes place. So I need to move this right here. Is that where the push takes place? No. That takes place right here. So we'll take this hand and say that from here up until right here, no influence. Okay, so now maybe push it to the left. It budges, resists. Maybe we can have it persistently scrape along the bottom of the window. Okay. Okay, we're making progress, but it moves right back. I don't want that. Maybe we can lodge it right here. Oh yeah. Our hand is magically phasing through the middle too. So we'll have to watch out for that. You know what? Let's make it a bunch more obvious. Let's do this. So we have our influencers. Let's kick them in right here. Just push them out of the way. Okay. As for the pipe, we're gonna have it be like this. We don't need no sissy tiny little nudge holding down the corner. Let's have this thing go right through the window. Make it nice and abundantly clear. This thing's blocking the view. Plus it looks a lot better this way. Okay. All right. Get rid of this. In which case, we don't really have to have the player smash the window. We can still have some semblance of glass physics. Okay, we don't need this. Hey, come on. Can you select it without selecting the influence? Thank you very much. There we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. And at this point, we're going to set inverse. And we're going to kick in the child of constraint. Okay, so okay, after we set this pose, do need to set inverse so that once the influence comes in, it is already in the right place. Okay, we'll deal with all the wrist twisting afterwards. Okay, that's not good. full body motion. We're just gonna get our hand out of the way before it gets crushed. Okay, now it is technically still attached to the pipe, so we have to keep the hand in constant motion as to not make that apparent. Or we can just reduce the influence. But who wants to do that? Okay, we'll just keep the hand in motion. Move torso first, that move pipe. That would make sense. Okay, I'm just gonna grab it underneath here. Just juggling multiple balls here for a sec. Okay. Maybe lean in a little bit. Okay, well now everything is out of whack. You are supposed to hold your position. Maybe not that long. Okay, so we're at 550 frames now. We haven't even opened the door yet. The window, that is. Okay. Some of these things are really slow. I actually found that I tend to have to speed the animation up after I'm done with it, almost like I'm actually animating it in slow motion. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure that everything just stopped working. Ah, okay. I see. Even though we selected all the bones, it did not select all the frames. So if I do anything like this, and speed the animation up, I have to then copy the transform. Don't know if that's going to work, but okay. And then select this bone, select this, and then copy the same transforms there. Okay, so there we go. And now we have all this extra time. Okay, that's the influence. Okay, I'm pretty sure we have enough clearance there to make sure the fingers don't get caught. Now, let's bring this down here. Maybe have it grab it like this. Maybe we don't want to reveal too much of the top side. Okay, so you should be done. And you should definitely be done before this even occurs. It's kind of sticking to the bottom of the screen there. I think that's the best prop placement. Maybe we can do something like this. It doesn't really make sense for it to fall out like that. Yeah, it does not. Okay, well the camera's not going to be stationary here. I don't think we have to look at it falling down. Just gonna get this out of the way. You have to hold your pose. Okay, cool. Except, you know, we don't want to move with the speed of light there. Mm-hmm. That was really fast. Like, goes back into the window because of the rotation. Damn it. Son of a gun. Okay. Okay. It's the center of the pivot point. If it was in the middle of the pipe, it would have been much easier to animate. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to keep that in mind next time. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. So next would be open up the window. We'll probably just reach in right away. Don't want to waste too much time. Looking at it now, maybe we could thicken those, whatchamacallit, handles. What? The elbow just making a brief cameo on the front of the screen. Dang it. Okay. You have to stay behind. Okay. So we'll have slight lean, and then our sharp rise. Okay, so now we need to make it so that the hands move with the window, which means the window needs to have an armature, its own armature. Oh boy. Could hypothetically make it a part of this armature. We would only need to have one thing to export then, as long as we don't move this bone. That might be actually a smart thing to do. Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's as good as a position as any. Okay, so I am going to parent with empty weight groups and then tell this to use the window entirely. Nice. Perfect. Alright, going back in here. Control-Shift P or Control-Shift O and open up the hands rig. Now we have that bone. Beautiful. Okay. Then we're going to take the wrist. Influence is already at 0. Child of. So we need this one, the inherited armature. Window, set inverse. Yep, set the keyframe here. Here it's going to be 0. Okay. Child of window. Beautiful. Same thing here. I'm gonna do child of CO window. We're gonna do armature 2 window. Set inverse and keyframe. We're gonna go here, keyframe 0, so it interpolates it. Okay. Phantasmo. Okay. Okay, so this is where we'll change grip. Maybe just one snap is okay. Just a quick one. Okay, so that's going to be the hold frame. And then we need to change poses. Oh. Well, hello. I think our limit distance is messing around with us. I feel like limit distance might actually have to be the last influence. Because they stack weird when you have a limit distance and then a child of. Alright, well. Oh, hold on. Wrists don't rotate this way, hello? What kind of RoboCop analogy is this? Anatomy. Analogy. Oh god. Go Gadget Milwaukee arms. What's happening here? Okay, I think we need... Maybe at this point... We need... Okay, well... Alt-I, Control-Shift-I... Where's my damn menu? Son of a... They took a menu away. Animation, insert keyframe... Visual. Individual origins. Copy rotation. I think we can put our shoulder in it. Okay. Old frame. There we go. Okay, same thing in here. The limit distance has to be the last bone. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's definitely going to be a little bit longer than others. We still have to adjust the timing, so we'll probably have an opportunity to shorten this. Okay, so at this point, we'll want to tone down the influence. So we'll go from here to here. Which is actually perfect, because we can be here, solidify that position, record it, go here, and then set this pose to what it needs to be. Please no Robocop hands. I'd appreciate it. Oh, perfect. Okay, it's flipping the right way. Nice. Okay, and then here, it's the same concept. Set it to 0. And then record the position. And then I think here we might be able to grab the side. Perhaps a little bit too late. Or not late enough. We'll probably have some sort of a camera motion to point attention to it. Do we just dive bomb out of the window? I was thinking we hang on to it like this, and then look down, and then drop down. Let's see. Our hands are going to be flipped. Unless we can rely on a little bit of that suspension of disbelief. Let's see. So if we do this... House invaders. Okay, and I'm just gonna do a little switcheroo here. Probably want to get this hand out of the way. Maybe even have it assume the position here. Oh, I got my thumbs mixed up apparently. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, yes. Okay, doesn't have to make too much sense. One of the most involved, toughest animations yet. It's, honestly, I would say it's about on par, maybe just a tiny little bit more involved than the subway one. Subway service entrance. Yeah, we didn't really have as many interactable objects there, but we are figuring things out. This is, besides the fact that I totally forgot about making a linked asset be made local or made selected in content, and the fact that I have to do it twice. Yeah, it's okay. It did take me what, almost 3 hours to get this animation. Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I'm talking out of my ass. The subway one only took about an hour and a half. This one's running on 3 hours, and we're only setting up like the base poses right now. I'm just talking nonsense. Okay. So we're gonna have the hand lead our view down there. Okay. I want to make sure we don't reveal the inside of the shoulder. So I think I could take the shoulder and move it. Okay, we'll fix that weird shoulder placement. Actually, I think it's just the palm looks a bit weird. We'll have it in a fist motion there. Again with a slow motion. Okay, could try something sneaky here. Have this dangle a little bit. Then we're gonna see if we can position, position the hand for almost like a bracing pose. And then here we'll let go. Which hopefully is just going to be as simple as clearing all transforms, including the camera. Oh, Well, it wasn't much of a drop. Here we act like, oh no, it's a 5-story building. It's like one of those memes. Oh, when the dude's in the pool, like, he's drowning, you're drowning. And in the meantime, his toes are touching the bottom. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's just because we didn't do a preliminary or necessary squat. Seriously, it's like some Three Stooges level comedy. Okay. Also, we rotated in the wrong direction. Okay, as cool as that looks, I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. How far is the ground? Make it seem harder by dropping animation hands hitting the floor, palms down. Yes, that's the idea. If I can get the hands to stay in the right place. We could pull the complete lazy ass and just have the character close their eyes as they're falling. Just obscure the shenanigans with the transforms. Oh no. Let's see. Okay. This is not the right... Oh, that's definitely not the right thing. Our left hand's become our right hand. Jesus. Okay. I could hypothetically try this. So we'll do RYY, or I guess we'll just save it here. And we'll do RYY 180, And then here, place a keyframe, RYY 180. Alright, so we just did like a double 360. Unless I can do this. Oh, yes. There you go. So our torso has rotated, but because it's out of the view, we don't care. All we see is just our head kind of doing this little jiggly motion. But that, thankfully, puts our hand in the right orientation, the right side. It's a pretty slow fall. Okay. So we'll just hang around here for a sec. And then we'll restore. Oh boy. the body's doing a little bit of a Autobots roll out. Literally. Okay. Maybe I can do something like this. RX 360. Nope. Yeesh. Goddamn gimbal lock, man. Maybe the problem here is that I'm clearing. Yeah. Okay, that could work. Okay, and then that should be the same exact orientation as the other bone, hopefully. I'm not sure why this thing is slightly crooked. That's why. I see what happened. When we drop, our body never actually rotated to face the right orientation. So we actually needed to do this. And our camera had to simply return to where it usually is. Okay. There we go. Okay, 883 frames. Hopefully we can find a way to get it down to 500. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure all the frames that take place after we lift up the window are a little bit slow, so we'll have to speed them up. But yeah, 3 hours to get this baseline animation in place. I mean, to be fair, it does get a little bit more complex once we got to moving props, but oh well. Cool. All right, I need a break. We're gonna wrap it up here. Okay, perfect.